Yesterday's body count lottery rounded out to a solid and sturdy 30. 10 out of Haywood, thanks to unabated gang wars. One officer down, so I guess you're all screwed, cause the NCPD will not let that go. Got another blackout in Santo Domingo.
La policía de Nancy recomienda evitar los enemigos que se hacen pasar por veteranos. No busques problemas. Seguro problemas. Si buscas más, encontrarás un fracaso. great cities under drone surveillance. El ayuntamiento de Night City les recuerda que el uso de pacífica permanece fuera de la jurisdicción de la policía de Night City. No ingrese la pacífica bajo ningún concepto.
Hey there, Cyber Samurais, welcome to Sodium Content. I upload clips of games I enjoy and ramble about topics no one cares about. Today, I'm going to talk about how to get the perfect balance between frame rate and visual quality out of the RX 9070 XT at 1440p on Cyberpunk 2077. I will be covering settings within the Radeon Adrenaline software, in-game settings, and lightweight mods that can improve visual quality with little to no cost concerning performance. So make sure you stick around for all of the information, otherwise you might miss something that could improve your experience in Cyberpunk. I am personally experiencing an average of 100 FPS with this level of quality you see on screen. First and foremost, I would like to say that yes, I am aware of the Optiscaler mod that allows for the use of FSR4 within Cyberpunk 2077, but it currently isn't very stable and can introduce bugs. So for those of you that don't want to mess with that option, I am here to offer you an excellent alternative. To get started, in your AMD Radeon Adrenaline software, go to the Gaming tab and enable HyperRX, and make sure Radeon Super Resolution is enabled. This is going to be our alternative upscaler since FSR3 and XeSS both hurt visual quality quite a bit in the game. Now for the Super Resolution upscaling to work, you will need to manually set your in-game resolution lower. I set mine to 1080p, and after less than a second I saw it upscale back to 1440p at a quality level that is nearly indistinguishable from native 1440p, which is exactly what we want. Next, if you do not already have the Ultra Plus mod for Cyberpunk, you'll want to go ahead and grab that. I'm leaving the link in the video description below. This mod has various performance optimizations and visual enhancements regarding ray tracing in Cyberpunk. Once you have that mod, you will want to set it to RT plus PT on Insane. It adds path trace bounce sliding, but make sure you leave path tracing disabled in the game settings. Don't forget to set your VRAM to 16GB in the Ultra Plus mod settings. Also, in the game settings, go ahead and turn on all of the other ray tracing options like ray traced reflections and sun shadows, as well as setting ray traced lighting to Ultra. In terms of your other settings, I recommend leaving motion blur disabled and depth of field disabled so you can truly enjoy the additional visual clarity and ray traced lighting around the city. Film grain is more of a personal preference, but I leave that option disabled for a more realistic look, but some people might enjoy it. The other settings, very small performance cost, usually only between 5 to 10 FPS, I recommend
I've been able to boost my FPS by about 75% in Cyberpunk 2077 with little to no effect to the incredible visuals that the game offers, and today I'm going to run you guys through all of the exact settings I'm using to do it. We'll start off in the video settings tab. There's not too much to cover in here. VSync, you need to make sure this is off. It's going to help out a lot with the input latency by having this off. You might get a bit of screen tearing if you're running on a lower refresh rate monitor, something like a 60 Hz, but I'd still say that's worth it. Maximum FPS, most people should be leaving this off. Windowed mode, usually I say run full screen for best input. If you're actually in game at the moment watching this video, you won't see the texture quality setting. You actually have to come all the way back to the. If you do have a 40 series card, then I would recommend going and watching some. That's not something I personally like, so I turn that.
Seeing 45 here. Like, I think you might maybe in some areas by the looks of that, you probably will see the 30s. Seeing at the moment 10 gigs of VRAM, so that's definitely creeping up. Probably almost going to be 11, 12 like this. Bear in mind, this is completely without ray tracing. That'll absolutely probably wreck this. Seeing 45 here.
I feel like the ghost of Steve is in.
For more details, visit the sponsored link in the description below.
You just see, oh, there's a big, there they go. You see those? Look at that. Now look at the GPU power. Now, if I'm holding still, see the GPU power is raising back up, 370 watts right there. I don't even know what resolution we're in. I think we're in 4K. But watch, as I move around, big, oh, look at that. Oh, huge stutters right there. And look at the GPU power. Look how much it's dropping, right? Look at the GPU util. It drops into the 60s. Now watch, if I stop moving, there it is, 90, there's 75, 80, 95. There was a big stutter right there. You can even see it. And you can see it represented by the CPU right there. In fact, it even stuttered again without me even moving it. See right there in the GPU? Now watch this. Now, nobody plays games this way. Let me just walk, right? Let me show you. There's a stutter, there's a stutter. Look at this. Look at these stutters. You'll see them represented here too in spikes. Big stutter. You can even hear on the, you won't be able to hear it, but I can hear the coil whine. Yeah, the 90 series Founders cards coil whine real bad. But every big stutter and hiccup is followed by this dip in power, which means the GPU has to wait for something. Now, what do you think the problem actually is? We have done the driver updates, obviously, because we've tested 3 or 4 drivers now in the past over the past week, trying to get through this video. And driver DDU uninstalls, all of that makes absolutely no difference to this. This is where you really start trying to figure out how do we dig down into what's happening. Now check this out. I can make this problem even worser. Are you ready? So the stuttering and stuff has happened. Now watch if I unplug my mouse. Boom, right? No mouse. Plug the mouse back into the same USB. No mouse. There is no mouse at all. Let's change the USB it's plugged into. We'll go into one of the dedicated, they call them lightning USBs, which are for inputs. Nothing. No mouse. Just completely dead. Now I still have a keyboard, right? Now the keyboard's gone. And with no inputs, to shut it down, I'm just gonna hit the power button on the motherboard because Windows is set to, okay, there we go. Windows is set to, if power button's pressed, to shut down normally. Now what's gonna happen is it will infinitely sit here on shutting down. Now, I know this is a problem many of you have experienced. I've gotten plenty of emails and messages from people saying my system won't shut down. Like, I was playing my game and the system started acting really weird and my mouse stopped working and then shutdown isn't working. Like, I have received this email a million times. And then people are like, well, I just restart my system and everything's fine until it kind of randomly does it again. So now I'm gonna have to actually shut down the power supply. It's the only way I can get the system to come back. And as I do that and turn it back on, keyboard, mouse, and everything will be working like normal. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take you to the event log so you can actually see what Windows was seeing, and you'll never guess what the problem was. So on the left, if you click Windows logs and then we double check system, this will tell us everything that was happening. So let me scroll this down right here. You can see the date and time. This is all the reboots right here. Windows firewall with advanced, blah, 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 blah. Look at all these errors right here. Look at this, error. Now, all of these MTK, WECX, look at that, they're all IO failed. Now, I demonstrated the fact that the IO failed because everything on the back of the motherboard stopped working. Now, here's the crazy part about this. What's actually causing this is the built-in wireless/Bluetooth adapter in the motherboard. So what happens is at some point with it active and in a game, in this instance, it works with all of our manually input games. It doesn't work at all with any of our like synthetic benchmarks, like they're all smooth because we're not inputting anything. So any title right now with this system, the way it is, using a keyboard and mouse, that hitching and stuttering will happen. And then eventually, see, we demonstrated by if you unplug the USB, it doesn't reinitialize when you plug it back in. Had I not unplugged it, it would have kept working. I would do a restart and then you would just be chasing your tail going, why the hell am I stuttering in all my games? And you'd start losing your mind going, the drivers suck and this GPU sucks and blah, blah, blah. And it's not that at all. So the way we actually validated that is what's actually happening is going into the BIOS, going into the integrated components, and then disabling the wireless in it, which will disable the Bluetooth as well. And then the problem is fine. Now, we could do that with this system, and we could be perfectly fine, because we're hardwired only. We want a full control over this system and the way it connects to the internet, plus since it's our GPU benchmark system, we don't use the wireless or any of that. So we could get away with turning that off, but many of you, probably most of you, can't get away with turning that off. So what we did is we went into the ASRock webpage to download the latest driver for the device. Now, I would have preferred to get the actual driver direct from the manufacturer of the device. Even though it's an integrated component, they still have their own drivers and firmwares and stuff that you can get. Unfortunately, MediaTek, when it's a device like this that's integrated into a motherboard, does not have public-facing drivers. You got to get them through the motherboard manufacturer. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go to our downloads here, and here they are right here, and see if this fixes our problem. I hope it does, especially since it looks like only about 2 weeks ago they came out with here all day long. Yeah, you hear it, disconnect, reconnect. It improved, but I personally, yeah, and see the mouse is lit up, because before the light would go off, right? Right, and it's back.
Cyberpunk. I am personally experiencing an average of 100 FPS, so for those of you that don't